All right, let's talk about something that's hitting close to home for every single educational support professional in Highlands County. We're going to break down a new Florida law and what it means for the contract that protects your job, your pay, and your benefits.
So let's start with a number, 636. Back in 2025, that's how many of you, every single person covered by the HEBC SPA contract, had the right to vote in the union recertification election.
And this is how many people actually voted, 174. That's a turnout of just over 27%. Now, under the rules at the time, that was enough to get the job done. But keep that number in your head.
And the result was a win. With 166 votes for yes, the union was recertified. The people who showed up made their voices heard, and your contract was safe for another term. Pretty straightforward, right?
Well, this is where it all gets turned upside down, because that victory, with those exact same numbers, would now be an automatic hands-down loss. The rules of the game have been completely rewritten.
So why the huge shift?
It all comes down to a piece of legislation called Florida Senate Bill 1296. Let's dig into how this law, which some have called a medieval law for the way it attacks basic rights, creates a brand new and very challenging reality for your union.
And here it is, the absolute crucial difference. Before, it was simple. A majority of the people who actually cast a ballot decided the outcome. But now, the new law demands a majority of all potential voters to say yes. This means every single person who doesn't vote is automatically counted as a no vote.
This new threshold, it's not just a minor adjustment, it is a massive hurdle. It completely changes what it takes for your union to simply continue existing. It requires a whole new level of participation from everybody.
So, okay, what does this new math really mean for you and your contract? Because this isn't just about union politics. This has a direct impact on your career and your family's financial security.
Just look at this gap. It tells the whole story. To get recertified today, HCESPA would need 318 yes votes. That's more than half of all 636 eligible employees. The 174 total votes from 2025, it's not even close.
I want you to let that sink in for a second. Based on last year's numbers, HCESPA would just cease to exist as your representative. Not because of a no vote, but simply because not enough people participated. Automatic decertification. And if the union is decertified, you lose your contract. This legal document, the very thing that guarantees your pay scale, your benefits, your sick leave, and your rights on the job, it all just vanishes. And this is the bottom line. Without a contract, everything you've all negotiated can be changed or just taken away in an instant. Your job security, your working conditions, none of it is guaranteed in writing anymore. This brings up a really common question, a misunderstanding really. The whole idea that you can get all the contract benefits without actually being a member. Let's clear that up right now.
Think of it this way. The raises and benefits that non-members get only exist because union members fought to get a contract in the first place. If the union gets decertified, the contract is gone. There's nothing left to ride on, not for anyone.
So, faced with this new reality, where do we find the power to protect that contract? Well, it starts by understanding what a union really is. Some people hold back from joining because they feel like unions are too caught up in politics. And that's a fair concern. So let's take a look at what the union's real mission is. And this just says it perfectly. The union's job is to fight for professional issues, things like fair pay, safe workplaces, and having the resources you need. These things affect every single employee, no matter what their personal politics are. The simple truth is, to negotiate a contract, you need collective strength. One person trying to negotiate has almost no leverage. But when you stand together, your voices become powerful enough to sit across the table as equals with the employer. And this is so important to remember. The union isn't some faceless group from far away. It is you. It's your colleagues, right here in Highlands County, standing together to protect what you've all earned.
So, when you look at these recent laws together, they create a really clear and really urgent situation. It's not just one bill. It's a two-part system that's putting your contract directly in the crosshairs.
So here's how the trap is set. One law from 2023 says that if your membership drops below 60%, you get forced into an election every single year. Then this new law, SB 1296, makes that mandatory election almost impossible to win. It's a 1-2 punch designed to knock unions out. So here's the crucial takeaway. There is a way out of this.
The only way to avoid getting stuck in this high-stakes election year after year, is to get union membership over that 60% line. That's the action that protects the contract for everyone.
Look, this isn't some abstract problem. It is a direct threat to your job security. Everything from your daily hours to your health insurance is tied to that contract, and that contract is now on the line.
In the past, joining the union was a choice. But now, the state legislature has basically replaced that choice with an ultimatum. The path forward is crystal clear. Join with your colleagues, raise that membership number, and secure your contract. It's time to protect the rights and benefits you all depend on, because the alternative is risking it all.